Today I visit the Nipigon River, the Campbellford Work Center, and PGS. The Nipigon Crew looks after Pine Portage, Campbellford Falls, Alexander, and Aguasabin. Campbellford Falls is the oldest station on the Nipigon River, having come in service in the 1920s, and with its big arched windows, it's one of the most beautiful powerhouses we've got. One of the main things I wanted to see while at Pine was the new sluicegates. The old sluicegates were a screw hoist design intended to operate a few times a year. With a decrease in demand and an increase in the need for flexibility, the gates were being called upon to operate as much as a few times a day. This led to operational and reliability issues, resulting in the need to replace them. The new gates are a wire rope hoist designed and rated for the current operational performance requirements. We had some gate supply issues with the vendor, but thanks to Brian Mason and the project team for delivering the project under budget. One of the nicest features is the heated hoist house at the top that's accessible by stairs.
Well, it's only -10 today.
The Campbellford Crew looks after 37 units in 12 stations ranging in age from 1900 to 1928. Off to Ranney now, where we've got our newest expansion project underway. While the station's out for construction, the Work Center thought it would be nice to rename it from Ranney Falls to Nipigon GS in honor of the project leader, Iskander Bulus. Right next to the construction site is a seniors home, and they decided that now would also be a good time to add on an addition, so it's under construction too. Iskander's done a great job keeping them happy with all sorts of pastries. The site had to be excavated down 30 meters with no blasting before the new unit could be added. Given that the control structure for the intake water at this station is some kilometer upstream, one of the features of the new addition is adding in an embedded sluiceway that's capable of passing full station water underground.
The rescue would be here.
Next, we're off to Ranney Falls, which is under a HESA contract, or a Hydroelectric Energy Supply Agreement, since 2010 when we put in Unit 1. Units 2 to 4 are equipped with a water chest instead of a scroll case, which routes the water into one of two runners. The new Unit 1 is an S-type unit, similar to Big Chute. However, the generator is on the upstream side. Now we're at Seymour GS, 5 units in service since 1909. Seymour and Sydney are two unique stations in that the generator is actually perpendicular to the runner. These units were put in the early 90s under the SHARP program, or Small Hydroelectric Assessment and Retrofit program, as a way to put a more efficient runner into a narrow powerhouse. This design requires the use of a large bevel gear shown here. The generator is also equipped with a large flywheel and sacrificial pins that will disconnect the generator from the shaft in the event of a sudden speed change to unload the forces, which prevents destruction of the gear. To address a significant falling hazard when the powerhouse crane is in use, the crew designed and installed their own self-closing door equipped with various automatic shutoff capabilities. Now we're at Frankfurt GS, 4 units in service 1913. This station did not undergo the SHARP program, so it's the old original units, which are a vertical shaft with a double runner. I asked Dave Brandt to send me a drawing of this unique setup, which he did here. I didn't realize that Dave had enlisted his kids when they were younger to help us update our drawings. And here's Sydney GS, 3 units in service 1911. As mentioned, it's a sister unit to Seymour, and it's right next to the 401 when you're going past Trenton. Next I visit PGS, where I get a chance to recognize the crew's efforts on a couple of outages.
Cake of ND1 G5 and PGS G6, and the team that made it all happen. Oh, don't be shy.
Now, both of these outages did have issues, but the reassembly of G5 and the disassembly of G6 was done safely and ahead of schedule. And here's the 27-foot diameter, 151-ton G6 rotor before we go and check out the freshly corn-blasted stator.
Can you describe what it looked like before?
What it looked like before, it was just all glyptol red. It was all this color.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at actual bare lamination and bare wedges. We actually take all these out, and then we re-wedge it. What your wedge does is hold your coil firmly against the back.
Right.
So that it's like kind of spring tension, so it kind of wears out. So we replace them all.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's next?
That's next.
Next we head down through the scroll case into the turbine pit, with a 19-foot diameter runner weighing 138 tons sits.
All the stay vanes that come.
These are stay vanes, you're right.
They come in
where the head cover sits.
So the head cover sits. Okay.
Yeah. So
You're literally right where the runner is.
So just before we head out, we'll take a look at the newly refurbished 750-acre reservoir. Thanks to Trent Wolseley on the Nipigon, Dave Brandt in Campbellford, and Dave Tom in PGS for letting me spend some great time with them and their teams.